welcome to Reality of Wrestling. Now this, it's been a long time coming. Now just in case you hear some music, there was just some music blasting a minute ago. So if you hear it over my voice, I'm sorry. This is in the afternoon on a Friday. But let me give you some perspective. The last time I did a Reality of Wrestling was April 23rd, 2017. So it's been 2 years and maybe about a month, almost a month, since I last saw this product. Now, there were mainly two reasons why I stopped doing well, next to there being a lot of stuff that was going on in 2017, I was having problems. The general reason I stopped watching the product and stopped reviewing was two things. One, there was very little interest. Maybe there was 5, maybe 8 people that was looking at it. And really almost no interaction. So I lost a lot of interest in it. The second was the product itself. Now, I'm not saying at the time, and I'm not talking about it now, because I'm telling you right now, I got a lot to say about this product. It's going to be interesting. I'll explain that in a moment. But the problem I had with the product, it wasn't that it was a developmental product. It's not much different than OVW. OVW, even though had bad production quality, was still a good show to watch. They made sure they had decent lighting. They made sure the audio was pretty good. They made sure the camera work was pretty good. And they had a lot of compelling people, characters, in-ring action. The people who worked there that were wrestling, they interacted with the crowd. They interacted with each other well. That's how OVW was. And reality wrestling wasn't 100% that bad, but with very few people watching the product. And next to that, very few people was watching my reviews. And with the things that was going on, along with the production value being an issue, I just stopped watching it. But now I decided, after what's been going on with the WWE, which is driving me freaking insane, that I had to try and find an alternative. Now, I had done Major League Wrestling, and I'll probably do another episode of it eventually. You guys tell me below if you want me to. Tell me. I want to hear you. I want to hear you guys. Just like with this one, and I'm going to make this very clear right now, I ain't got a lot to say, and it's going to generally be a rant. So if you want to hear more about my thoughts of reality wrestling going forward, tell me below how you feel. Give me a like. Put a like on the video. I don't normally ask for likes, but in this situation, I need to know what you guys really think. Not just in your comments, but do you like the video? If you don't like the video, I don't like asking for those types of things. It's not that I'm trying to get more traction. I really need to understand what I'm dealing with. I need to know. Even if you don't leave a comment, tell me and a like or dislike. But in this show now, after 2 years and a month, there was some things that was done really well, and one glaring weakness that I want to strangle someone so bad, more than someone at the WWE named Vincent K. McMahon. Oh, I'm so angry. You have no idea. Halfway through what I was watching, I wanted to kill somebody so bad. This made me so angry. And understand, I'm not 100% enraged that the way the product is. It's a developmental. I understand. But as Booker T, and he's in my freaking face, a guy who's working for the WWE, who's doing his own podcast. I think he tried to become mayor at one point, or Congress. I don't know what he was trying to do back in Texas. The guy needs to focus on his freaking developmental product. Because I'm saying it now, Booker T sees it. I'm going to say, dude, I still love you. Because you're not only just a great wrestler, a great Hall of Famer, I believe that you turned your life around. You made something out of yourself. I'm proud to know that someone like you exists. It makes me happy to know that an ordinary guy who messed up his life in some way because he was having problems as a young teenager into an adult managed to turn himself around, make something out of himself. It makes me happy. But if you're a professional wrestler and a promoter of a developmental that I'm sure if you could make it a major promotion, you would. Focus on the damn thing. Now, first thing I want to open with Gilmore and Wapowski. I believe his name is that. It's good to see they're both there. And it's good to see, I forgot the guy's name. But you know what? It's good to see them. They're still working there after 2 years. I always liked Gilmore. He was always pretty good as a talker. But I noticed Rapowski, if I'm pronouncing his name right, I've forgotten right now. It's been so long. And that's one of the major problems I saw. But it's not something that's a deal breaker, and that's animations. If they put animations of someone just putting names, we wouldn't have a problem forgetting people's names now, would we? But I still did remember most of the products, so I did recognize Gilmore and Rapowski's name if I'm pronouncing it correctly, and I'm sure I'm not. But he wasn't really looking at the camera much, and it was Gilmore who was looking at the camera more, which was kind of surprised because if I remember correctly, both of them knew if you're trying to relay what you feel, yeah, you can talk to each other, but you need to look at the camera. There's a reason why you're in front of the camera. It's because you're trying to relay to people at home what's going on. So I was kind of surprised he seemed a bit off, not realizing to look at the camera like me. I'm looking at the camera. I still got my right in front of me. I still have my little screen so I can see myself to make sure I'm in frame. But at least I understand to look at the camera. So I was kind of surprised. Now the first match was, I can't remember what, Brian Steen versus All Day Lockhart. I can't remember his first name. But here was the... let's go through the matches first before we actually speak about it. Was the match between the two good? Yes. And Lockhart won the match. Now, since I have not seen Lockhart's promo segments or in-ring segments or backstage segments, I don't know if he's a talker. But Steen is a talker. After he lost the match, he pretty much destroys Lockhart, well, at least tries to destroy him a little bit. And as the 2018 Raw, what was he, like, kind of like the WWE Slammies, he became the WWE Wrestler of the Year 2018. He felt like he had the right to say, I'm the best. You shouldn't be cheering for Lockhart, you should be cheering for me. Now, the attitude he gave off, I liked. He's a simple, straightforward heel saying, I don't want to hear you cheering for this piece of garbage. Cheer for me. I'm the best. And he's in my face. I liked him. He gives an attitude that I like. Next, we had Ryan Davison. I always liked Ryan Davison when he was with the other guy. I can't remember his name. It's been a while. But I do remember Ryan Davison. I always thought that guy was money. The guy he was a big guy. The Bear Ryan Davison was a big guy, if I remember correctly, he was the Bear. He pretty much had a good look. He was fast in the ring. He wasn't muscled out. You don't have to be muscled out to be a wrestler, ladies and gentlemen. You can look kind of chunky and still go in the ring and be excellent. The guy was great in the ring. He knew how to speak to the camera. He knew how to look at the camera. He knew how to be able to relay his feelings to the camera. And now he's a Texas champ. And I remember, what's the guy's name? What was it? Anderson. I believe his name was Rex Anderson. He was the one who is the first champion of that title. And now seeing Ryan Davison have it, which if I remember correctly, it was like a mid-card championship or a lower card championship. I think they got the TV title, they got the main title, and now they had the Texas title, which was probably the undercard title. Which is good to see they gave it to him. And I'm hoping he'll move up in the ranks. But the guy is just good. I always loved his promo segments. I always loved his in-ring work. I always loved his backstage work. So it's good to see he had a title. Now, we had, and I don't really know what to say about Garcia. I believe her name is Garcia. I can't remember her name. Miss Pink or something. It's hard to say what to think about her in this promo. I have to see her more times. She seems capable, but she sounds like a Valley girl. Oh, I'm just so happy when I went to Japan, and I need to learn, and I'm just diamond in a row. It just sounds like a Valley girl coming off. I don't know if that's what she's going for, or she hasn't really figured out herself. That is something that is needed to be figured out. But she was trying to talk about the steel cage match between the two diamonds that will be at the end of the show, which was a AQA and what was it? High Yen. I remember High Yen. She was a good wrestler, but I didn't see a lot of promos from her, so I wasn't sure. But she needs work. I just feel like she doesn't know what she wants. Now, if I remember, La Familia, I think that's La Familia that I'm looking at right now. And I can't remember the guy who was the lead of La Familia. It's been a while, like 2 years and a month. It's hard to remember. But it looks like he's the TV champ. And he was upset about somebody who was going to be in a 20-man battle royal. Probably picking the next challenger for him. And his two underlings went and did something without his permission. And he's chewing them out until they told him that they messed him up and he's not in the battle royal anymore. So he seemed to be happy. And I just don't remember his name. It's been a while. But when it really comes down to it, La Familia still exists, which I was okay with it. And I always thought that this guy should be the champion. I don't remember if he ever became champ. But it's good to see that at least they are still going with storylines that had some interest. Finally, the steel cage match between the two diamonds, High Yen and AQA. Ah! I'm angry beyond no stink. And this culminates in the entire show. And my guess is this has been prevalent since the last time I saw around 164 or 165. Maybe I'll flash the last episode that I did and what number it was. I'm not even sure. I just put the date. But it's got to be in the 160s. What happened to the product? Now, mind you, the lighting had improved dramatically. The audio work had improved dramatically. And the set looked good. The set was beautiful. They lit the outside of the ring pretty well. They had a good amount of light inside the ring. Gilmore and Rapowski, if I'm pronouncing the guy's name right, it was audible. You can hear them. I was happy. Until, like what happened with the first match, with the promo segments, and this final match, how bad the freaking camera work was. What the fuck? I'm sorry for the cursing. Ladies and gentlemen, no matter if you're developmental or if you're a major promotion, the most important thing is to have good camera work. You can have the worst ring in history. You can have bad audio. You can have bad lighting. But you need to have good camera work. If you can't see what's going on in the ring, if you can't see what's going on with the people that you're interviewing, what is the freaking point? What's the point? And that's what I saw prevalent throughout this entire show. Mind you, the having no animations for the people there has always been a problem with reality of wrestling. Sometimes back when I was watching, they would have it. Other times they would not. Now, I don't know if they're still doing the same practices. Sometimes someone would put the animation in. Sometimes they would not. Maybe they decided it's too much. They don't have the budget. They don't have people to do it. And they eliminated it. Fine. But, if your cameraman cannot, and the person in the back who's controlling the cameras, if they're connected by cable, understand, there are two ways to record these shows. You can have it connected to cables where you run it into the back in the production truck or the production room and they take care of it in the back. Or the guys are working the camera manually. And that's what I think what was going on, because I didn't see any cables on the ground. So my guess is the cameramen were legitimately running it themselves. And if these were the men running it, they need to be fired, or those guys, if they're being trained to learn how to do camera work, don't have them record it and don't put it out for the YouTubes. And I'm being honest, because the majority of the show was so unwatchable. 5 minutes into the Steen and the Lockhart match, I wanted to stop watching. It enraged me that these guys were allowed to record this, if I'm correct, and it was not the production guys or girl or one person, if it's a man and a woman, or just a single man or woman. I don't give a damn. If you don't know how to use the camera, do what most promotions are smart enough to do. Tell the guys out there, step back, do not go close to the ring, and do long panning shots. If you cannot zoom in properly, if you know these guys cannot zoom in properly, that there's got to be more than one show that they've done that these guys, if they use every single time, if they're the same ones, cannot focus properly, cannot zoom in properly, cannot zoom out properly. Tell them to do open wide shots so the entire ring can be seen and that you can see everything there. Yes, there'll be dead areas, but at least you'll be able to see at least when they have to pan back and forth and basically get what's going on. This was an unwatchable episode. And there was a point where in the steel cage match, what was her name? I'm so angry I'm beginning to forget names. Look, Hai Yang wasn't a bad wrestler, but AQA is a better wrestler. But I think she just doesn't look very good. Her ring attire sucks. She looks like a girl from the hood. She legitimately looked like she rolled up her pants, went into the ring and started wrestling. She's a good-looking woman that is talented in the ring, but her ring attire sucks. It looks like she just had her mama sewed up for her, and then she just went into the ring. And Hai Yen looked like a real wrestler, while AQA looks like someone who is just from the hood. And that just didn't look good. But what do I rate this show? 0. This show sucked. So bad. And that's going to be the title. So bad. It's not good. So freaking bad. So I don't know if I'm going to do another episode of Reality of Wrestling. You guys ask me if you want me to, because that'll give me an interest. If I don't get that many people telling me, I don't care if you do likes, dislikes, likes, comments, just tell me you want me to do this show. Just give me an interest, something, because I am really pissed at the WWE. So I want to go to other promotions. But this promotion, damn, this was bad. Woo! I want to strangle Booker T for not noticing his cameraman can't do the business. I want to strangle him for not telling his cameraman, step back from the ring, do wide open shots. Do not zoom in at all because you can't do the freaking business. Either them or the people in the production truck, I don't care. Have a good day. Have a good night. Peace!